most common questions I get when it comes to talking about anything Instagram related is, should I post daily to Instagram? Now, I do have a lot of thoughts about this, and I had recently posted a very similar video actually talking about an experiment I did, which was last year, where I posted daily for 6 months. I essentially posted a reel every day over that 6-month period of time, and then I was reporting my findings at the end of last year. Now, that video semi blew up, and there was a lot of questions I had, especially in that video, as to whether smaller creators or creators in general should be posting daily to Instagram and whether it was worth it. Now, I definitely think through some of the findings that I had in that video, they were pretty positive overall. I did mention a few things that I felt had to be done alongside posting daily, but in this video, I'm going to be really delving into whether I think that it's worth it to post daily to Instagram, whether you need to, and whether it's going to make that much of a difference in your growth. Because over the last nearly 7 months since ending that experiment, I've been posting more intermittently to Instagram. And this is to really gauge whether it's been worth it for me specifically to be posting every day versus around 3 to 5 times a week, depending. So I'll be talking about a few of my findings over both periods of time where I've done the experiment of posting daily and then not posting daily. And I'm going to be talking about whether I think that it's worth it and whether you should do it too. But for those of you who are new here, my name is Kaylee and I'm a beauty and fashion photographer based near Sydney, Australia. But I'm also a travel content creator over on Instagram, and I also started this YouTube channel a few years ago to talk about all things content creation, business, social media, and freelancing. And like I mentioned in this video, we're going to be talking about whether I think that it's worth it for smaller creators to be posting daily to Instagram. Now, if you haven't watched the video where I went through the experiment where I posted daily for 6 months, definitely feel free to go and watch it. The link is in the description box below, and I really talk in depth about my findings. But in terms of a brief overview for it, over that 6 months where I was posting a reel every day to Instagram, I received around 800 followers organically. So this was not with using any paid advertising. This was not begging people to go and see my Instagram or sharing elsewhere to try and market that particular Instagram account. This is completely organically, and I did find that in terms of getting those 800 followers over that time frame, it was very much kind of up and down. At first, it really was on the up, and for the first couple of months that I was doing that and posting every day, I was seeing a really huge spike and huge incline with my follower count. Having said that, after a while, I do talk about this in the video where it sort of stagnated and I wasn't getting a lot of followers just from posting every day. I found that I was having to include other things into my daily posting routine that was going to help me get more reach and really just have more engagement overall too. So in terms of posting daily, yes, it absolutely accelerated my growth when it came to follower count, but also when it came to my reach. I was finding that the reach I was getting for each video was in the thousands of views, where for a long time when I was posting intermittently previously and a lot more photos rather than reels, I was finding it was a very slow pickup and I was only getting a couple of hundred views per reel. So yes, as I mentioned, it definitely accelerated my growth by posting daily to Instagram and posting daily reels. However, I think the only reason that it continued to accelerate after a few months of doing that was because I was paying attention to other things as well and implementing other strategies. I found that I had to do something when my follower count kind of stagnated, and even when my reels views were sort of stagnating as well. I found that I needed to implement different measures to kind of try and spark that up again, and it wasn't just enough to be posting daily. So I found the really big things that worked with this was engaging with my audience that I already had, and then it was actually seeking out that new audience that I wanted. I really wanted to connect and engage with other like-minded people on Instagram, and I've talked about this before on my channel, where I think social media really wants you to be social, and this is a huge aspect of it. Trying to find other people within your niche or within your general realm of likes and interests, trying to find people that are like-minded, so it makes it easier to engage with them, and it makes it easier for them to engage with you and on your posts. I just feel that it's a really important thing to do because you're also kind of curating your feed and what you're seeing. A lot of the stuff you'll be seeing will be kind of inspirational because it will be very much within your realm. So one thing I would recommend with this is trying to follow a lot of people who are in your niche that are kind of around a similar follower count to you. You don't have to follow people who have millions and millions of followers, because chances are they are probably not going to be the ones engaging on your posts if you do follow them. But one thing I found when when I was following people who were much more related to my own niche, I was finding that they were following me back quite often. And that's when I started to build a little bit more community because I wanted to comment on their posts and they wanted to comment on mine. So that was really cool to be able to follow people who are all kind of doing a similar thing to you. Like I said, it also starts to tell Instagram what you want to see on your own feed, but it also tells Instagram where to start pushing your own content out to. And especially if you're engaging with these other people in your niche and they're engaging on your posts, it's going to tell Instagram that this is where your content should be pushed to these types of people. Also, building on your skill sets along with posting daily in this sense is really, really important. So making sure that you're always improving with your photography and your videography and even your captions, your writing. I think there's so many things you can improve with Instagram in particular. And I do think that that is needed alongside posting daily, because I think that posting daily will probably only take you so far until you need to implement some other measures to really get it accelerating. So that was my general experience with posting every day over 6 months. And I think that overall it was certainly worth it for me because I was virtually starting from only around 200 followers before I started that experiment and then ended up on just over 1,000 followers. So I felt that it was very good organic reach within that 6 months and I was able to really kickstart my Instagram. Was it a lot of hard work? Yes and no. I kind of found a routine that very much worked for me at the time. And because I was very much in my experimental phase, I was just kind of posting reels every day and not really thinking too much about them, just kind of looking at trends, seeing what was popular and just kind of making what I wanted to make. And sometimes this would be a rushed thing because I was making the reels daily as I was posting them. So I definitely feel that doing more of a bulk creation schedule definitely helps with stress and things like that, getting things done. But it's also about finding a routine that works for you, and that routine really worked for me over the 6 months. So I do feel that it was worth it overall. But at the end of the 6 months, overall I was kind of feeling like I needed a break from it, so I decided to start posting a little bit more intermittently. And at first I didn't see too much happening, so probably when I was posting around 5 times a week, still 5 reels a week, I wasn't finding too much difference in my reach and follow count. But then I slowly started to kind of peel back from doing as many reels in the week. And then I was kind of doing maybe around the 3 reels per week kind of mark. And that was probably over the last 6 months or so, 5 months or so that I've been doing that. And I started to integrate a few more photos into my Instagram feed too, because I was really wanting to experiment with whether I would get more reach from them, because Instagram said that they were going to be making them, I guess, more important again, photos on the platform. So I really wanted to see and test with that and see whether that was going to actually happen. So one thing I have noticed is that things definitely started to flatline the more I was posting under 5 times a week. And that was quite frustrating because I feel that it's not fair that you have to post 7 times a week to really accelerate your growth or to really help that. So really posting under that 5 posts a week mark felt like things were definitely flatlining again and I was not getting as many followers. I feel that that's been more the case over the last couple of months where I've started my new routine of having around 3 to 5 reels and a couple of photos each week. I have started to find that things have been flatlining. So I'll probably be redoing my schedule on this and be focusing again probably more on reels, which is quite frustrating because as I mentioned, I'm a photographer primarily, so I want to post photos on my Instagram feed. But of course the Instagram algorithm is changing. It feels like monthly at this point. So I do hope that in future photos will become more popular on Instagram again. And I do think that Instagram needs to change that. Instagram really does value loyalty on the platform. And unfortunately, this is why I feel the less amount of times you post in a week, the less reach you're going to get and the less followers you may get on top of that. So I do feel it's very important to be consistent on the platform overall. And in terms of stats, over the last 7 months or so, I've gained another 700 followers or so. So that's quite a little bit less than what I actually gained in the 6 months time last year, where I gained 800 followers over 6 months. I've now gained 700 followers over 7 months. So I guess still looking at the positive of that, that is still 100 followers a month, which is not necessarily bad. I do think that it has stagnated more recently, and I've definitely not gotten 100 followers in the last month. So that sounds a little bit skewed in that sense with those statistics, because like I said, I was finding for the first couple of months of doing the experiment where I wasn't posting as much, it was kind of like still not too bad. I wasn't seeing too much of a difference. And then I started really posting under 5 times a week at certain points, and that's when things started to escalate downwards. So unfortunately, I don't feel that what I've been doing recently has been working as well as posting daily. But having said all this and looking at the statistics from both experiments that I did, I still feel that it's not necessary to post daily to Instagram. If you want to accelerate your growth on Instagram and really kickstart your account, you really want to get as many eyes on your work as possible and as quickly as possible, definitely I would recommend posting daily, and especially posting as many reels as you can each week, because I do feel that they are still being prioritized more than photos. So I would recommend doing that if you are that way inclined. But if you are a lot more time poor and you really don't have the time to dedicate to posting daily to Instagram, I would recommend posting at least 4 or 5 times a week, and that would be to set yourself a good pace of growth. Anything less than that at the moment, I feel like Instagram is still not prioritizing that content enough, and they really want to see a bit more loyalty in terms of how many times people are posting a week. And as I mentioned, reels still seem to be preferred, I guess, over photos at this stage, and hopefully sometime in the future that will change. But one thing above all else, no matter how many times you post a week, one thing I would recommend is to always engage with your community. Try and find like-minded people on the platform that you can connect with and that you can really start building that community with early on, as soon as you start your account, because I think that that's the best way to try and grow, is growing with others who are trying to do the same thing. And in a lot of ways, you really are helping each other out, which is a really nice thought. So I really hope you enjoyed this video today, and if you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, make sure you do, because I'll be posting a lot more in future. Let me know what else you'd like to see on my channel down in the comment section below, and also let me know your experience with posting daily versus not posting daily, and whether you've had a similar experience to me, because obviously this is my own experiments that I've been doing, but I would love to hear from you as well. But thank you so much for watching as always, and I'll see you in the next video.